You're listening to No Early GGs.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to episode 56 of the No Early GG's FPL Draft Podcast. We are fresh off the end of Game Week 2 yesterday. We had Arsenal beat Crystal Palace with only 10 men. Did you watch that game at all, Noah?
Oh yeah, I watched it. My game, which we'll get into in a minute, came down to that. So I was watching every second.
What were your thoughts on the red card and the penalty claims for Crystal Palace?
Wow, I see you wanted to get me heated from the start, huh?
Oh, I didn't realize this would get you. I didn't realize this would get you heated, but go proceed.
Okay, so I'm actually glad you brought it up. That I was thinking about talking about it on this episode as soon as it happened, but what I don't understand is with these new extra time rules, like they account for every minute that the ball goes out, right?
Yeah.
So what is the point of giving a yellow card to someone for that? Like all the time's going to be given back. And I know what you might say that, it is maybe some sort of unfair advantage because, it gives the players a little bit, a few extra seconds of rest, but
Oh,
I don't know.
this is not where I thought you were going. I thought you were going to say that was supposed to be a penalty for Crystal Palace.
Well, first I was getting into the Tomiyasu red card or double yellow, which
Yeah.
first yellow for time wasting, dumb. And I know there's a lot of different accounts. Some are saying he had the ball for 23 seconds, but others, I know the announcer said he had it for 8 seconds. And then later on in the game, Havertz was holding it for 11 seconds. So
Yeah.
not sure about that. Second yellow card for Tomiyasu wasn't even a foul, and he got a card. So I don't know, something about that ref, but I'll get my the Twitter. I don't know how to say it now, but just
Get
like
your
we rallied
rage
against
out on
Mike
Twitter.
Dean,
Yeah.
we're gonna get after this guy. Who
Start
was
the
it? I don't even remember.
protests. All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's get into something a little bit more exciting for you. Do you want to detail how your game week went?
Oh yes. Whew. This started off a lot hotter than I expected. So this week I played the team with Holland on it. So I played Holland and 10 other players. And I was able to squeak out a victory the last game. I won 30 to 27. Sorry, Pierre, but we're going to need a little bit more than just Holland. I definitely got lucky because he didn't score this week. But my team, I mean, I guess they put up respectable amount of points. I'll give you the highlights. And CISO double assist was great. And then Ward Prowse, unreal waiver claim. And I know everyone's probably thinking we forgot to even mention him last show. We didn't. We talked about him, and I said, Cam, please cut this out.
Yeah, you ruined our credibility.
I know I ruined the integrity, but I needed him, and we found out that the manager who was behind me wasn't even going to wait for him, so he was definitely aware of it too. So we didn't have to cut it out, but I picked him up 9 points with 2 assists. Yeah, I was just full of assists this week. And the last player I'll highlight is Martinez, got me -1. So
Nice.
it's been he's actually hurt me that I drafted him. I could have, started nobody and it would have been better for me the past 2 weeks.
We can talk about this later, but I think United are an interesting fantasy team right now for draft. Like, what do you do with their players? But we'll get into that. On my end, so I asked Noah if he had been paying attention to our chat during the game week, and me and my opponent, who is one of the newcomers to the league, I apologize I did this to you, but we both had our last players in the West Ham Chelsea game. I believe I was up 2 or 3, and I had Enzo and Jackson, and he had Jared Bowen. Now, I don't know if people are familiar with how that game went, but Enzo missed the penalty to put us up. And when I say us, I mean Chelsea. And obviously that's also negative points in fantasy. So I had my own game, so I wasn't watching the end of it, and I basically assumed that he had lost me both me, my fantasy Premier League draft game, which would have been, terrible for the world, and he lost Chelsea, the real game. So I texted that, and my opponent responded in some confusion, and I was basically like, "Don't do this. You know you won," because I had assumed that I'd only won by, or I was up by one, and they hadn't added McKinn's bonus yet, which was two from earlier that day. But it turns
Wow.
out they had added it. So I did win by one, and I came across as a terrible opponent. And I apologize to the whole league for that. I know I'm only talking to about 12 of our listeners, 11 of our listeners now, but that one's on me.
Wow.
Anyway,
Shout out Teddy. And also Cam. Wow, I can't believe that. I think that's even even
okay.
worse
But
than what I did, cutting out the Ward Prowse segment.
I've never seen them add bonus that early. They added it at like 2:30 or 3. I guess the games were earlier because there was no later one on Sunday, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Another massive update FPL just decided not to tell us about.
all right, my big scores though. I mean, I pretty much owe my game week to Matoma. He had 12 points. Salah and Powell were my other people that scored points, as well as Rico Henry, all had 5 or 6. So I ended with 38, and my opponent had 37. So we squeaked
Oof.
by there. I'm currently in second, so we'll
Shout
see
out.
if this keeps going. Maybe not. I'm playing. I gotta. My opponent has some scary matchups this week. I'll preview that for sure.
Oh, wait, let me check really quick who I'm playing because that'll probably determine how I talk about it. Players this week. I'm just
All
kidding.
right. Anyway, so let's get into our previews. We're gonna do it like we did last week with um talking about certain waivers from each game. The first game on Friday is Chelsea Luton. Hopefully they turn up for this game. We actually have only seen Luton play once. They did not have a game last game week. Think for them, let me know if you disagree. I feel like it's kind of just like a wait and see still on them since we've only seen them play once.
Yeah, I think. Oh, I don't know. They're playing Chelsea, so
Okay,
this
anyway,
could.
we're gonna cut you off there. We're gonna cut your mic off. The only players I wanted to highlight from Chelsea right now who are probably available in smaller leagues. I don't think any of these people are available in our league, but Gusto, because James is injured. That news actually came out after we recorded that he was going to be out for a while. Disasi has started the last 2 games, so I think he's a good pickup if he wasn't picked up last week. They have great fixtures going forward, by the way. And then we saw Enzo on penalties, Enzo was one of my pickups. I don't think I prefaced that, but he was new to my team last week and missed a pen. But I was kind of surprised he was on penalties. So if he is on them going forward, I think he's a better, even better pickup for sure than what I was expecting.
So does that mean that you're gonna be keeping him for this week?
Probably. I mean,
Oof.
so with Chukwuemeka's injury, we don't have that many people that can play that 10 role with Nkunku out.
I mean,
Uh,
including him. So
yeah, so I mean Enzo probably will if it's Caicedo, Lavia, Enzo's the furthest one forward. He's a great option, I think.
I yeah, I have a feeling Gallagher's gonna start in that number 10 position.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got the hair for it now. So
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to add? Sorry, I was rambling because I was following Chelsea
hey,
pretty.
no, all good, man. No, yeah. What is okay? So did you? I didn't see an update on the Chukwemeka injury.
Yeah, I think it's
Is
an
it bad?
MCL. I don't think he
Okay.
tore it, but it was like partial. There's so many
Okay.
knee injuries flying around that I can't keep them straight.
Yeah, no, that sucks. I actually felt bad when I saw that because yeah, he was having
He
unreal
scored.
first 2 games,
Yeah.
scored, yeah. So that hurt. I even feel for you there. Sterling, I think looks good too.
Yes, but he's
A
probably not
lot.
available. Yeah.
No. Sorry, I just wanted to highlight that. I
You just wanted to prove yourself right.
honestly, subconsciously maybe, but I wasn't even thinking about that. I just know everyone's talking down on him, but I yeah, I definitely wouldn't. He's looking good, but don't think I have anything else to add
Yeah.
at this
The
point.
last thing I'll say is their next fixtures are Luton, Forest, Bournemouth. So do with that information what you will. Okay. I think we can move on to Bournemouth Spurs. Spurs, like Chelsea, have a great next three fixtures. Looking forward a little bit. They have Bournemouth, Burnley, Sheffield, which I think is probably about as good as you can get at this point. We saw Sarr score in their match against Man
Yep.
U. You think he's worth picking up?
I don't think so. Just because I don't know the Tottenham center mids have never really been too appealing to me, even though they.
New coach now. They're very attacking.
I know. I mean, that's true. And Hoiberg last year was, I think, one of the top scoring like center mids FPL
Yeah.
wise,
Yeah.
and now he just doesn't play. So that was interesting, but I mean, looks like it's working. I don't know. As of right now, I don't think I'd consider him for my team, but I will just say, like, really quickly, I'm in this other league, fan tracks. A few of my friends from college, and unintentionally, I have Perisic, Schoiberg, Sar,
That
um,
sounds intentional.
Dogi. Well, I didn't realize I had all of them. I had a bunch of waivers kind of in and out, but now I literally have 7 starting Spurs players, or maybe not starting, but I have 7 players, and I have Vicario. But beyond that, my point, I'm in on Spurs right now, and it could be an overreaction because only 2
Yeah.
weeks, but I am definitely in on them. And yeah, I now that I'm thinking about it, I probably would target Sar, but for most people, yeah, for me right now, not sure if you'd break into my starting lineup.
Real quick. Sar or Enzo?
Sar.
Ah, okay.
I'm kind of out on all Chelsea besides Sterling right now.
All right. For Bournemouth, the only person I wanted to highlight was Semenyo, who is a forward in fantasy. He looked pretty good in their last game. He is actually picked up in our league, but he looked very dangerous. So I think you can add him next to Solanke as probably the only two Bournemouth players to pick up right
Okay, yeah,
now.
I was about to say you not the only player that you're gonna highlight.
Yeah, yeah, no. Last question, real quick on Spurs. What do you do if you have Emerson or Pedro Porro since they've alternated starts in these first two games?
Definitely Pedro Porro.
Okay. All
I
right.
I even yeah, I watched most of that Spurs game, not all of it, and he looked unbelievable. He was like attacking like a ton of chances. Yeah, definitely going with Pedro Porro.
All right. All right. Let's go to Brentford Palace. I don't really have much from this game, to be quite honest. Um,
I think it's gonna be a better game than we think.
yeah, I feel like these two teams do have the capacity, but I don't know if I would. I feel like anything I would do would be a dart throw on like a random player. Jordan
Yeah.
Ayew, maybe like you hope he does something. He was crossing a decent amount in this game. Not that any of them came to anything, but
No, he was the one player I would have highlighted because I
oh,
think
okay.
yeah, I know everything I say. Mostly it's, I don't want to infringe on, yours and his relationship, but if he's available, maybe take a shot. I noticed exactly what you just mentioned, Cam. He was crossing the ball a ton. I mean, Arsenal just looked solid, but Palace definitely impressed me in that game. So
Yeah, they look decent.
yeah, and Brentford too. They've been crushing it. So yeah,
Yeah, for either of these teams, I would actually, if you have the space to like get ahead and get one of their defenders, I probably would because Brentford play. Who do they play after this? They play Bournemouth, which is a decent defensive fixture. If you trust them against Palace, you have them for two good games. And likewise for Palace, they play Brentford and then they play Wolves if you wanted to have a Palace defender for that Wolves game.
all right. What about this, Cam? This is kind of a selfish question, but
Okay.
I'm sure there's a lot of other people considering it too. Gabriel or Brentford defender?
Which Brentford defender?
I think honestly, any of them. I know
Uh
Balak. What's his name? Baldock.
Baldock is on Sheffield.
Oh, never mind.
Similar jersey though.
Yeah, that's probably what it
I
was.
would
It was
go
Pinnock, and
Rico
yeah,
Henry and Gabriel would be close for me. I think
really.
I think Gabriel is higher though, even though he hasn't started a single game.
There's been 2 games. Let's not overreact, even though I am definitely overreacting.
Let me say a single game. And I mean, with Tomiyasu now on a red card, he has to start at some point. And Arsenal are just so much better than Brentford at this point that it's gotta be Gabriel in the long run. Has to
Okay,
be.
good.
Yeah.
Phew. I
All
just need
right.
someone else to tell me that.
Yeah. Speaking of, that was a great transition. Arsenal Fulham. Like with Brentford Palace, I don't have much for Fulham other than Mitrovic is actually gone now. So if Raul Jimenez is available in your league, probably get him if you need a forward. But this is again probably mostly about Arsenal and that defensive line that we've seen with Partey playing right back and Tomiyasu and Timber starting instead of Gabriel. Like, what are your not to dive into this, but what are your diving into your deepest insecurities right now? But what are you doing? What are your thoughts on Gabriel?
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna dive deep into this. So I when I saw that starting lineup again, I was just like, I was jaw dropped. I don't know what. Okay, I'm trying to figure out a concise way to say this, but okay. So I started watching the game, Palace Arsenal, and like one of the first things the commentator said was Partey starting at that as an emergency right back. And I was like, what emergency? Like what is going on? Like why is this an emergency? Why can't Gabriel be starting? Just put Ben White out there like he was the entirety of last season. And did everyone forget that Arsenal finished second? I mean, it was clearly working last year. I don't know why you want to change it up. I mean, yeah, they played great these first 2 matches, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tierney starts at right back or left back or literally in the middle next week, and Gabriel's still on the bench. So, yep, that's my rant on there. I'm holding on to Gabriel though, just
Yeah,
because.
you should.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you continue, but I have more to say about this game.
Oh, well, you go on. I didn't have anything else.
Okay. All right. I'll take over this one. So Fulham. Now that Mitrovic is gone, still have Vinicius, and you don't understand how hard I was trying to get rid of him, and it's just like I can't I didn't I couldn't get rid of him because there's no other forwards that step on the field in our league that are available. So I'm like, all right, I'll hold on to
That's
him.
not true.
I mean, yeah, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I feel I don't know. I'm holding on to him because one less forward gone, you'd think he'd step on the field,
Yeah.
do something. Hasn't seen the pitch yet. So I don't know what to do there. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. This game is not gonna be fun for me because Vinicius is gonna start. I'm not gonna start him. He's gonna score. I don't know. All right, I'm done with this game now.
Okay. All right, let's move on to United versus Forest. I mean, my biggest question from this is what is up with the United attackers at this point? They looked really bad against Spurs, like no cohesion anywhere. Anthony and Garnacho were pretty useless in particular. So I don't understand. I think we both don't understand why Sancho didn't start, although he didn't really do anything when he came on either. I just I have Shaw. Was a mistake starting him over Udogi. Um, looking back, I'm starting both of them this week, but for United, like especially attacking wise, like who do you trust from their team?
Well, I have to trust Rashford,
Yeah,
number 1 pick overall. So
your
my
first round
biggest
draft pick. Let's be clear, he wasn't drafted first
oh yeah.
overall.
Yeah, my first round draft pick. I I don't know. The one thing that I think, all right, so Man U always starts off slow, typical start to the season. Not too worried about them in the long run. And I am a little bit biased because I have Rashford, Martinez, and Onana. But other than that, what I think the issue is their center midfield, like Casemiro and Mount as like the holding mids doesn't really make sense. I don't see Mount as a holding mid at all. I would think what I think they should do next game is Rashford up top.
I don't think he's good up there. I think he's better at left wing.
I hear that a lot from like avid Man U fans too, but if he has someone who can feed him the ball, he's a striker. I just think he has a striker mentality.
Yeah.
He scores goals. I think if they have like, well, okay, this is what I would do. It's kind of crazy, but Rashford up top, then Sancho on the left, Mount on the right, Bruno is the number 10, and then Casemiro and Ericsson.
Yeah, I don't think that's out that far out there, to be quite honest. That sounds much better.
Yeah. I don't know about, Sancho on the side, like someone, Anthony, one of them will start on the left or the right. But I think Mount has to be on one of those wings. That's where, like when he was on the wing in Chelsea, that's when he was thriving.
Is it so based on that, you think it's too early to drop Mount based on his current positioning?
I think so.
All right.
I think he's a good player. So I'd hold on to him. If he gets dropped and he's in our free agent pool, like I would definitely
All
pick
right.
him up.
All right. In terms of Forest, I feel like we've talked about Gibbs White. We've talked about Iwani. They're probably picked up. So is there anybody else that you would consider? I think Aurier looked pretty good. He was crossing. The theme of today's episode is crossing. So we talked about Ayu's crossing. Aurier had 2 assists, I believe, off crosses. So he's putting them in the box. So he might be worth a pickup, even though they probably won't keep too many clean sheets, particularly
Yeah.
against United.
Wow, it was a crazy game week of double assists last week.
Yeah.
Aurier, Ward Prowse, and CISO. Sorry, I just noticed that. It's kind of cool.
Noticing patterns. All right. Here, the next game I have as the snooze fest, labeled as the snooze fest. Everton Wolves.
I'm with you.
So, I mean, you could probably bet these teams against each other. Which team would you rather have players from in this one? I'm assuming you want defenders.
Yeah, I guess if I had to. I would go with,
I think I would go Wolves. I
yeah,
just answered my own question.
no, I'm with you. I'm leaning Wolves. I don't think they played Brighton last week and they kind of got crushed, but
They both got crushed last week.
yeah. So Brighton super strong. Not gonna completely write Wolves off yet, but I think if I if I had to choose one team, I would definitely go Wolves. I like Sarabia too.
Didn't start, but he got an assist.
Yeah. In the first game, he had a bunch of chances. So I think I waived for him after the first week. I didn't get him because he was behind Ward Prowse for me. But yeah, he got an assist. I don't see him not starting. And if you need he's a midfielder, yeah, obviously. So yeah, I would definitely actually start him in this game.
Yeah. What about Pedro Neto? Asking for a friend.
I I don't even think I saw Neto on the field. I
He's
don't
got
remember seeing him.
he's got two
So
90-minute appearances.
and he didn't pop out at all. So I
If I'm
think
not
that kind
starting
of
him
says
against Everton, I might as well drop him, huh?
I think this is it for him. You're gonna start him, and then if he doesn't perform, I'm assuming you're gonna drop him after that.
Yeah, you're probably right. So Everton have Wolves and then Sheffield. So that's, I guess, another reason to maybe target their defenders. I don't think they're better than any of the defenders I have. So I won't be going for them. But if you really want it, Tarkovsky or Patterson or someone, I probably wouldn't pick up Michael Keane.
Yeah, he gave
That would
away
be
a
the
goal.
that would be the route. Yeah. All right. You
Uh,
want to move on from this snooze fest?
sure.
Okay. Brighton, West Ham. I think my main question to you is, and I feel like we do this a lot, but how are we ranking their attacking assets now? And is it too late to break into their attacking assets?
For West Ham?
No, for Brighton.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like, I don't know. Like how do you rank their attacking players now?
Ah, okay.
Because we haven't
Hmm.
seen Ferguson start, which is bad for me. Welbeck's been starting. He hasn't looked all that great, but they still, I mean, they're in first, right? With their goal difference.
Oh wow, I haven't even looked at the league table yet. But I don't even did Welbeck start the first game or is it Pedro Por or sorry, João Pedro?
Oh, trust me, he started both games. I've been keeping an eye on if
Okay.
Ferguson's starting.
Okay. Did but João Pedro played 87 minutes in the first game.
Yeah, he started the first game and not the second one.
Yeah. So did they have like two strikers up there?
And he was playing like the 10,
Ah, interesting. Yeah, it looks like that was his position. But
which is where Enciso, so him and Enciso basically swapped their starting spots.
yeah, I mean, you're right. It is kind of tough to rank these Brighton attackers because they're looking like City out there.
No, literally.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think we're both, you can agree or disagree, but did not expect March to really have any impact, and he scored a brace.
Yeah. I don't know about
Given,
any impact, but I didn't think he would be as good as last year, and it looks like he still is.
yeah, like I didn't even consider targeting him in our draft, is what I meant,
Yeah. I
I
wanted
guess.
Matoma or nothing
Yeah, I mean,
out of their
I'm
mids
glad
at
I
least.
got, yeah. And I guess, we can't really be giving March complete credit because Enciso just served both of his goals up on a silver platter. So
Yeah.
maybe, yeah. No, I'm definitely happy I have Enciso. I'm still okay. I'm gonna give you just a rough rankings right here.
Yep.
Number one, I think it's clear it's Matoma.
Yes.
And and then like I want to go with Enciso. All right, no. I'm gonna go Matoma, March, where we
Yeah.
currently are. Matoma, March. Then I'm gonna go with Enciso. That's a little bias. Then João Pedro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I still not fully sold on João Pedro, but I
I'm not
think
fully sold on Welbeck.
I mean, I never was, and I'm not gonna start. I don't know what he's doing, but maybe they're just giving him, a few starts at the beginning of the season, the veteran, all that, but I don't see that lasting. It's definitely going to be Ferguson or João Pedro.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of them, or they're going to swap. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Maybe we should wait to rank them until after they start Europe and we see what their lineups are looking like.
yep, that's fair.
For West Ham side, I think James Ward-Prowse is really the only person I would call out. Bowen's probably
Nice.
owned. Ben Rama, maybe.
He did not look good.
Okay, maybe not. I was too
You
focused on
watched
the
that
other
game?
side. Yeah.
I was
Well, I
about
only
to
watched the
say.
first half.
Oh, yep, I get it.
Okay, let's move on. So we have Sheffield City. Um, I mean, nothing really to talk about here. My opponent has Ederson, which I'm dreading. So, I mean, I don't really see Sheffield scoring. The only thing I'll say about Sheffield is Osula has been starting their first two games, and I think that only might be due to injury, but he is a starting forward. So if you wanted those 2 points on your bench, maybe, but can't see
Yeah.
anything else from that.
Nope.
Nothing
Balda.
really to talk about. Yeah.
I know another player on that team.
All right. We have actually other news. City signed Jeremy Doku. He's a winger. He'll probably be a mid. I mean, you're stepping into Pep rotation as we know, but seems like he could be a good asset, so he'll probably be the first waiver if he's added to the game.
Yeah, I was gonna try to swing for that, but I know someone below
Yeah.
me is going to take him. So
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Burnley, Villa. Villa coming off a great game, but they were playing Everton. Um, we saw Douglas Luiz on pens. So what are your thoughts on that? He is one of those center mid players that takes penalties, and I know you love those. And my other question is, are there any Burnley players you want?
So first, that it doesn't surprise me too much that Douglas Luiz is on pen. He scored a ton of points towards the end of last season, and he's a solid player. I don't even think he either got drafted very late in our league or he went undrafted, but I think someone picked him up.
I he got drafted and dropped after game week 1 because
Okay.
I was afraid I was gonna have to play him, but then he
Uh,
got dropped for McGinn,
yeah.
so it wasn't any better.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, McGinn and Douglas Luiz would always be kind of floating around our free agency in and out last year. I remember. I think McGinn's like the top scoring free agent right now. I know you didn't ask this, but I don't think I have much interest in McGinn. Yep, that was it there. Then Burnley, I might be mixing. No, yes, that dude. I think I actually have him. Yeah,
Yeah, you have
Foster.
Foster. Yeah.
So I didn't want. Hold on. There's actually another mid who I thought played really well against City, but he was playing up top, of course. But in FPL, he's a midfielder. Oh no, I kind of know his name, but I know I'm just gonna
Well, I
pronounce
think
it.
he's a forward.
Who are you
I
gonna say?
thought I thought Mdouni looked really good.
It is. Yeah, and dude. Okay, so yeah, he looked good and Dooney, but the player I'm talking about is hmm, Kolesho.
Oh, Koleosho.
Koleosho. He looked really good against City,
So would
but
you pick him up now or kind of just wait to see? Because we've only seen Burnley play once as well, so maybe they're just a wait and see as well.
yeah, definitely wait and see. Also, because he only played 60 minutes,
Yeah.
that didn't really make sense to me because I thought he was influencing the game more than almost anyone. But yeah, he's going to be a wait and see. I think I drafted Brownhill. Maybe I didn't draft him, but I was targeting him because I remember 2 seasons ago he was kind of crushing it for Burnley. They like
Yeah.
went on a run towards the end of the season, which was wild.
Yeah.
He actually got me. He might have gotten me a win, but he hasn't been playing either. So don't know what happened in a year. Yeah, no one else on Sheffield.
All right.
I guess
Or Burnley.
Trafford.
Yeah, Burnley.
Yeah, Burnley. Oh God, I'm gonna just get them all
Yeah.
mixed up now.
Um, my last question for you is Bailey a real option, or do you think that was like a one game thing?
I think he's definitely a real option.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because
They
who
have a
just
lot of
got injured?
injuries. They have a lot of injuries. So
Yeah. Who didn't I feel like who just got injured on Villa?
well, Buendia's been in. Buendia got
Buendia.
injured.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
When Buendia's out for a while, I think a few months.
yeah,
And yeah, so Bailey's definitely up there.
yeah.
I
Just
would
gotta
pick him
hope he
up.
doesn't. Just gotta hope he doesn't get injured. He always gets
Yeah.
injured.
But it's worth the pickup,
Yeah.
and at least until he gets injured, you can just drop him. But I would, yeah, definitely
Yeah.
pick him up.
All right, last game, and I have it labeled as the barn burner. We have. Oh, also, I wanted to call out before I forgot. We saw Odegaard take a penalty with Saka on the field, which was very surprising. And it seems like it's going to be up to those players to figure out who takes penalties, which is not helpful for FPL in any sense or form. So
Yeah,
anyway,
no, you're right. I remember them saying like Saka like deferred. He
yeah,
pretty much said Odegaard take it.
yeah.
So
So
that was wild.
yeah. All right. Anyway, Newcastle Liverpool have it labeled as the barn burner of the week. I just want to know, who do you think is going to win this?
Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna back Newcastle in this
Yeah, I think I will too, which means Liverpool will win. But
one. Yeah.
My next question: Tonali did not look as good. I mean, pretty obviously against uh City as he did against Villa. That's probably unsurprising. But do you still think he's a good FPL asset?
Yeah, I do. I don't think we should judge really any players against when they play against City.
Okay. And what are your? Did you watch the Liverpool game
Um, I did.
against Bournemouth with
Yeah.
the McAllister red card? First of all, crazy call.
Yeah, well, I thought my initial reaction was that, yeah, that was not
Pretty
a
bad.
red, but
Yeah.
when they played it back, I mean, that wasn't as crazy as some of the other calls, especially not the Tomiyasu red. I mean, I don't know. That red was not that wild in my eyes.
All right. We got a Liverpool hater over here, everyone.
I
Okay. I mean, my only take. I feel like Jota is higher in the Liverpool ranks than I think I initially had him. Um,
Mhm.
Diaz looked like he was very wide in their setup, from what I remember, and Salah just seems a little bit off it, which is terrible for my team. Somehow we're squeaking by these wins without Salah. So hopefully he can pick it up, but at least he played longer this game than he did in the one against Chelsea. So
I mean, he had a goal and an assist the past two games. I don't know what you're complaining about over there.
yeah, but missed pen into the. I guess yeah. What am I complaining about? But missing a pen for
I
five
mean, yeah,
points,
yeah,
crazy.
in FPL that sucks, but like he knew he was gonna score that. Like he knew, I even knew he was gonna score that.
Yeah, all right. I'm just complaining to
No,
complain
I
over
know.
here. Anything else from this game that you wanted to address?
No, I mean you said it. Jota definitely better than we predicted, but it's not too much of a surprise. Whenever he's playing, he puts
Yeah.
up points, so and good for him.
All right. So before we wrap up, Noah said he had some trades that he sent out. So he's going to detail those and we're going to critique. We,
Yeah.
as in me and all the listeners, are going to critique his trades and make fun of him if they're bad.
All right, they really weren't the best. Um, now that I'm looking at them again, and my yeah, the managers that I sent them to, I don't even think looked at them, so that may explain it. But this is yeah, definitely an impulse. I missed having Watkins,
Ah,
so my first offer was Bernardo and Vinicius for McGinn and Watkins.
uh, yeah, I think I would reject that as the Watkins owner.
Yeah, maybe I'll revise that. Maybe if Vinicius starts playing, you never know. I mean, it doesn't help them again put up pretty good
Yeah.
week, but it was really for Watkins there. And then this other one, interesting. This was right before the Arsenal game. So before we even saw lineups, I was like, let me just take a shot. I sent over Gabriel and Bernardo for Saka and Aurier.
Hmm.
You really have to be like, thinking long term for that one.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to think about there.
But
Uh,
still, I think
Saka not on pens. Gabriel hasn't started any games this season. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
I mean, yeah, and Bernardo had, the red flag next to him. So they
Yeah.
just said illness. So he's back to yellow.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I would I just Saka was one of the players that I would have taken like fourth or fifth in the draft. So
Yeah.
I think I value him pretty highly over the other people in that trade.
Yeah, I'll have to revise these a
We're
little
trying
bit.
to finesse people out here.
Well, I just wanted to, yeah, one was to Teddy, so hand up there. But and in my defense, I thought the sock owner was someone else. So I thought this actually could have slid by, but it wasn't. So
Before we wrap up, I'm going to go over a couple of questions that are in the draft EPL Reddit subreddit. And I'm just picking two that I found earlier. So we have Almiron versus Morgan Gibbs White first. Who would you rather have?
Ooh, I don't know. Almiron didn't start last game, did he?
That's a good question. I thought he did.
He may have. I actually
I
just
think he
don't know.
did. Let me double check that. They played. Oh, yes, he definitely did. Because I remember
Yeah.
thinking, oh, this is awkward. It's Grealish versus Almiron. Yeah, he started. I
I
think
think,
I'd rather have Almiron because their team is just better.
wow,
It's just
I think I'd go Gibbs White,
all
and not
right.
just because I have him,
Oh, you're
but
so biased.
no,
Okay.
I'm not even because I like Gibbs White. If for a score,
Yeah, set
he should be around
pieces.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, honestly, I drafted him way too high.
All right.
But what I did just bring up, what about this? Gibbs White or Leon Bailey?
Oh, Gibbs White. Because I just can't
Mhm.
trust Bailey long. Maybe Bailey short term, but Gibbs White long term because
Yeah,
I think Villa have more capacity to replace him and or he might get injured. Knock on wood
yeah.
that he doesn't. But all right. Speaking of Forest, we have Solanke versus Awani.
Oh, Iwani. He's I saw a stat the other day. I think he scored 7 straight
Yeah,
EPL games.
something like that.
Yeah, one more, and I think he breaks the record.
I remember seeing that actually. Let's actually
So
add this. Would you rather have Gibbs White, James Ward Prowse, or Almiron?
Ford Prowse.
You have Ward Prowse over all of them.
Oh yeah, I mean he was on what? It was a corner. Like he's on corners, and they have Suchek like 100%
All
Ward
right.
Prowse.
All right.
What? You don't agree?
I think Almiron and Ward Prowse is a good question. I think they're both better than Gibbs White.
Hmm. All right.
You're just a big Gibbs White. You're a Forest fan. Let's get that out
Well,
of the way.
no. I'm loyal to my players.
All right. I think that is going to do it for this week's episode of the No Early GG's FPL Draft Podcast. Thanks everyone for listening.
Okay, everyone. Even if you have, shambles in your Arsenal defense, and your team looks like they're in shambles, it's only week 2, so give it some time. Don't overreact, even though we all do. It could change for you. So please, no early GGs.